couple of days, or a couple of different meetings with him going over the project, so I'd like to formally thank him on behalf of the pool committee for all his work. He gave us some really good ideas, which we have gone back to the two architects. We have an architect who is the architect for the pool house and an architect for the pool itself. So we put our list of questions and Eric's recommendations back to the architects to see if these are areas that we can do, things that we can do that would help to possibly save us money on the construction. We have also discussed with Eric about being the clerk of the works. So he is developing some cost analysis for us in regards to his company doing that for us. We feel that this is a project that we will need to have some eyes on this project at least once a week, if not more, while it's being done. There's nobody here in the town that really has the expertise to be able to know how to build a pool, and I certainly don't plan on being clerk of the works. So I think it'll be a good addition to have him there. He's local, lives in the village, he's very much involved and very much interested in the pool and the process. He has young kids. He has joined our group, so I think he's going to be a real help here. So as we move forward, we'll be looking at that and possibly bringing him on to oversee the project for us. We should be ready to go out to bid by February and be able to accept bids back in by April, March, April, start moving forward on the project. So things are looking very good right now. So I will keep you up to date. Right now the chairman is out visiting his family in California and won't be back till mid-January, so, but we're moving along. Things are looking good.
Okay. Personnel, anything done?
Not this time.
Okay, building?
We had some heat issues and we resolved some of that.
Okay. IT, Matt.
Well, at the last meeting, somebody had mentioned that they had difficulty finding the meeting times on the website. But they're on there. There's two different places. So when you go to the main page, you look in the middle of the page, there's upcoming events, and they're on there. And there's also, if you click the calendar, they're there. So I just want people to know that. And also, if you look on there, tomorrow you're going to see a new bird brochure that just came off the presses. So that's going on there. And that's it for the IT report.
Alright. Okay. Codes monthly report.
Make a motion to accept the codes report.
Okay, is there a second?
Second. Oh, sorry.
Wanna do which one?
No.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Let's see, court report. Guess everybody's had a chance to look at the court
that
report?
annual audit report should not be by clerks, it should be up with the justice. Sorry.
Right.
Right.
Clerks will be next time.
So we're making a motion to accept both of those? Or do you have to accept the audit report?
Probably ought to do them separate. Tom did an audit. As required by the state. Everybody's had a chance to look at it and see his notes. Is there a motion to accept the annual audit of the court?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now for the actual court report.
Make a motion to accept the justice court report.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town clerk's monthly report. Is there a motion to accept the clerk's report?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let's see. Supervisor's report. After all the work and the time and the effort to straighten out the cover page,
Still
this
there.
month when it printed, it went right back to screwed up like it was all the beginning of the year. So we are working on getting this straightened out because we need to get it done so we can do the annual report. But, is there a motion to accept the supervisor's report with the penciled in changes on the cover sheet?
No, they're not pencil anymore.
Well, they're not penciled, they're photocopy penciled.
Can't erase that.
I can't erase it, it's installed.
Make a motion.
Is there a
Second.
second? Matt, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Let's see. County report, the mayor and I met with Wayne Reynolds on the proposed, county highway garage. Discussed several different ideas and options, and, they're kind of under the realization we have to stick within no impact to the flood level whatsoever. And they're kind of reverse engineering it to see how big a building they can actually build, and, when they get some solid proposals, we're gonna have another meeting. And, see what we can come up with for there. Like I said, we had a meeting with the DA, with the legislative committee. We're discussing some ways to try to save some money on our indigent defense costs. There had been talk once upon a time of, setting up a public defender's office. At the time that the study was done, we weren't spending over $1 million a year, so we're looking at that again to see whether it's something that could save the county money. Otherwise, I've talked to Glenn Nealis. There is a new company that's filed a certificate of need with the state for the countryside facility. So they are interested, they're moving forward, they're working on plans, and, hopefully sometime in the not so distant future, we'll have some good news that, we may actually get it reopened here and get some jobs back.
What does certificate of need mean?
Just, they have to file paperwork with the state explaining what they intend to do, what they think the area needs. You know, they have to show that there is a need, which obviously we have a need, and they have to show how they plan on, you know, meeting the need, meeting the state requirements. Because the existing rooms down there don't meet the new size requirements. And, pretty much, most of the rooms, I think, the actual individual rooms will probably be knocked down, and there'll be a new section built. They will save part of the building, but, you know, a good share of it's gonna get knocked down, and they're proposing, I think, a 2-story, you know, replacement. And I've heard numbers somewhere around 170 beds. So it'll be a pretty substantial project. But, like I said, keep our fingers crossed, hopefully it'll keep moving forward. Any other county questions?
Yeah, I had just a question, and I guess, and I couldn't be at the public hearing in regards to the new tax, on cell phones. I'm a little concerned about that. I understand that, you know, we need to build a tower and we need to do this project. But, you know, as a businessman and somebody who has several cell phones on my bill, I think, first of all, I think it was accepted rather quickly by the Board of Supervisors. And when I compare that to the bed tax, which I feel is really something this county needs and seems to always run into major controversy every time we talk about bed tax. And then when we turn around and we do this cell phone tax like that, without, in my opinion, didn't take a whole lot of thinking when we went into it. I'm hoping that this cell phone tax has a sunset. I would like to think that once the cell tower is built and the emergency services are taking care of that, this isn't gonna be an ongoing thing, because I don't think that a lot of thought was put into the impact of what that does, to not, to just regular citizens, but also businesses that have, you're talking 30 cents for each cell phone every month. That adds up to a lot of money for some people, and I think that was a decision that was made a little too quickly, but, and I'm not,
I can address from our side, because it came out of one of my committees. And it was discussed, the impact of the locals, and, the big issue that we had is we've got a ton of people that don't have landlines, because it's already on your landline.
yeah,
And if we add this fee to the cell phones, it picks up the college kids, it picks up the people that just drive through the county, city people that come up for the weekends. It is gonna impact our local people, but if we can bring enough money from the others that are coming through there that don't have landlines, we feel that it's gonna offset in the tax line, cause 911's gotta be upgraded every so many years, and it's getting ridiculously expensive.
How are you gonna get money from other people that are passing through?
If they use a tower in Delaware County, it gets tacked onto their bill. Cell phones, they know where you're using it from, and if you use a cell phone in Delaware County anytime during that month, you will get a bill
but
for it.
track phone people won't get charged,
Yeah,
right?
it's probably not.
I mean, there's no way to do
No.
it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that you can go after track phone or, a prepaid cell phone, but.
Mark,
Yeah.
how you gonna collect this from non-county residents or non-town residents?
It's levied by the cell phone companies.
So they're gonna get an
Estes from it, right?
administration fee on top of it also then, right?
Yeah, they can pretty much do what they want.
Well, I'm just saying that we'll get an admission,
It just-
administration fee on
Yeah,
top.
I mean, I just think there should have been more thought put into it, not that I'm against emergency services by any stretch of the imagination, and I understand, we're all trying to find ways to pay for things, but, again, it's one of these taxes, we're trying, the argument when we talked about the bed tax was we didn't wanna increase taxes, but yet we, and I just think the bed tax is something we've needed here for a long time. And we can't get that through, but yet this comes along and wham, it goes right through. And it's the same as, we fought for years to stop the county employees from driving county vehicles home, we finally got that done. And just like that, they gave the cars all back again, which was stupid as far as I'm concerned. I just don't understand where people's heads were at, but,
Yeah, that's
you know.
being addressed again.
well, I hope so.
We had
because-
some, issues with people who were promised things in their contracts when they were hired, that shouldn't have been promised things, and, that is being addressed now, and I expect that to be taken care of probably this coming year.
I hope so.
But,
Yeah, I just.
And the bed tax, the bed tax did finally get through the county.
It did.
It went to the state.
Went to the
and
state and it was turned down.
Yeah.
I know, but,
Good old Mario's like, no new taxes, and it's
Yeah.
gone. We're one of, I think, 4 counties in the state that doesn't have a bed tax, but.
yeah, this one bothered me, but I know nobody came to the public hearing, but then again, I'm not sure how well publicized the public meeting was that was addressing that tax either. So I had a lot of people who told me they didn't even know that it was there, but that's not uncommon, for people to say that, but. I'd like to think it was a tax that doesn't stay there forever, because it is just another tax on business, another tax on, the cost of doing things. And cell phones aren't cheap, let's face it, they're expensive to begin with, so.
So this doesn't have to go before the state either.
I don't believe this one
No, I don't
does.
think so. I think it's just,
I know at
And-
the committee
Why
level,
did,
we were
why,
talking about.
why did we send the other one to the state?
that was my question as well with the county, if they wanna just do a bed tax, if they can do this tax, then just do a bed tax. Don't send it to the state,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? For approval.
The threat is,
Just a
if
home
we, if we
rule.
do it, then they're gonna pull other
Well,
funds.
that's always the threat,
Yeah.
but that's where sometimes we have to just take the bull by the horns and try it.
Well, that's kind of what I look at with the indigent care.
Yeah.
If you read, there was a federal Supreme Court decision that said everybody's entitled to a defense. It says it's the state's responsibility to pay for it. They've dumped it down to the counties.
Sure.
I'm like, you know,
Well, New York State's good at that.
yeah, and that's the way it keeps working. Everything that, you know, should be paid by the state keeps filtering down the line, and we keep getting the short end of the stick.
Oh, yeah.
But no, we did discuss reevaluating it after a year to see what impact, you know, whether it's worth it, whether it's not worth it.
So you can pull the plug on it?
We can rescind it.
So is it gonna be once a year you're gonna bring it up? Is that what it is?
I think it's gonna come up in committee for sure this next year after, you know, after it's been in place for a year. And, then like I said, it'll probably wind up back in front of the board, you know. It's more information, and then we'll decide whether to continue it or not continue it. So, yeah, like you said, nobody shows up for the hearing.
No,
It's
it's,
kinda-
you know, it's just normal.
Yeah.
This is based on, new towers going up, or?
It's just a 911 emergency surcharge that shows up on your regular landline. There's a 911 fee.
Right, well, you said this is based on the cell phone, so.
It's
This is
just,
Del- this
cell
is-
phones are gonna pay this.
This
fee
is
now,
Delaware
too.
County owned towers?
This is just to go, anything as far as 911 emergency services in Delaware County. We're doing a bunch of new towers, upgrading equipment, anything along those lines, cause the whole system is being upgraded. I think we've done 4 or 5 towers this year. We've got 4 or 5 more yet to go. And, the hope is when all the towers are functional, we'll have somewhere over 95% coverage in the county, which I think right now we're at 70-something for our, and that's for our police vans, our
Right.
ambulances, everybody. We're hoping that, you know, with better towers and better locations and, some upgraded equipment.
I wouldn't have as much problem with it if I could have better phone service out of it.
Really
I'd like
bad.
to make a suggestion that the county be asked if they could notify each town of public hearings that the county is gonna have. Like when they do the ad that they have to send into the paper for the legal notice, if they could also email it to each town, then we could have it on our website, and then people maybe
Yeah.
would be a little more
Yeah, I
aware
like
of what's
that
going
idea.
on.
That'd be a
Okay.
good idea.
Yep.
Yep.
What's how long has Jim Isel been lost?
Forever. No.
No, like,
Some people think it's been too long, but,
how long has it been, 15?
let's see, it's gotta be getting close to that.
Probably 15, 16 years.
Yeah,
But
'cause
that's
Ray
annually,
was before him, yeah,
Ray Christensen
Yeah.
was there then.
and that's voted annually by the supervisor?
by the supervisors.
But last year, nobody ran against them?
Nobody
It was-
really runs for it.
They have to be nominated by their party,
Uh-huh.
and, nobody else, and you can have open nominations at the organizational meeting, but there was one nomination, there was one no vote. That's.
It's pretty
what it
much
is.
decided before the meeting starts.
I know, but that's weird. I mean, that's like too long.
Well, you know, we had suggested that it be moved around. That instead of electing the same person all the time, that it be moved around to others who would be willing to do it. Some people do not want to be chairman of the county board, but some would do it if they had the opportunity. But unfortunately, it ends up in, you know, whatever party happens to control things, and then he's the one who wants to do it, and he continues to do it. But in some other jurisdictions that operate under the same type of government that we have, they do move it around. The other thing that needs to change too is that when the county board in Delaware County votes, they always vote alphabetically, which is not necessary.
So then everybody knows, they wait to see what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, and other jurisdictions that operate like us, they change it around, they don't always, you know, they let somebody else vote first, which kind of throws things off for some people, but it's a little better way to do things rather than starting with Andy's and moving down around the table.
Yeah.
Well, what's
Well,
the,
that's been the discussion, it's like, you know, every vote, move it one like we do for
Yeah.
the Pledge of Allegiance or
Yeah.
whatever,
are you interested in being the boss?
at this point, no.
Is anybody? I mean, what do you foresee for the coming year?
There's some that are interested.
There's a couple interested parties, I think, you know. But, where it'll shake out, who will get nominated,
A lot of work.
yeah, it's
A
a
lot
lot
of
of work.
It is a lot of work. I mean, it just seems like it's been a long time.
It's a full-time,
It's a
Yeah.
full-time job.
you know, the way we do things. That's why there's
But
been
you know-
discussion of doing it differently. But
I might regret saying this, but if we were ranking number one in every category in the state, you know, Delaware County, best economy, best recreation, best tourism, then I would understand why we have the same person for 15 years, but we're not quite there.
That's true, and that's why some people feel that Delaware County needs to have an executive officer instead of having the supervisors. You know, have a supervisor in control of things. They feel there should be a full-time county manager. There's pros and cons to that too, but somebody who would do Jim's job all the time and answer to everyone. Because it's a tough job for a supervisor to do his own town plus run the county.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's not like it was 100 years ago.
No, it's getting more complex every year.
Yeah.
But that, I've heard of that before, you know, you have what's the other title for the manager? It's called something.
County executive,
County executive.
Yeah.
But
which they do have.
But there's a lot of counties that don't have all the town supervisors.
Right.
It's-
Well, in
it's
Otsego
split into
County,
districts,
they
and you'll
don't,
have a certain
town
number of
supervisors
elected
only run
county
their own
reps.
town. That's all they do in Otsego County. They don't even go to a county meeting. They have
The
the
county has different
representatives.
zones.
Yeah.
So was that ever discussed in the at
Yes.
this county level?
It's actually been voted on, but it doesn't pass. It's always.
Is it about money?
No, it's just about the way, some people fear that extra level of government. When you go to the representatives like Otsego County is, now you have another level of government,
Yeah.
where you have your supervisors and then you have these representatives who have several towns under them. Some people feel that's another step away from their government.
Yeah.
And, you know, Broome County has a county executive that runs everything, you know, which is another step away from the people. So a lot of
More
people
government.
tend to like the way we are. Schoharie County's like we are. They run the same kind of thing that we do.
Yeah, I guess I like the way we are, but I would like it if more people were calling the shots.
Yeah, I think some of the supervisors would like that too, because it is it's a lot of work to be a supervisor, and it takes a lot of your time, and there's just a, you know, to do that job and do this job is sometimes more than, and that's why it gets hard to find people that wanna run for that position,
Yeah.
because they just don't wanna have, they don't have the time.
A lot of time.
Well, I'd like to see, again, it's not like I have some agenda, but I just would like to see a little bit of plurality or, you know, some variation.
Yeah, I would like to see a changeover at the top, for sure. I'd like to see somebody else as chairman, but like I said, there's probably only 2 other people on that board right now that would be even willing
Who are
to
they?
take that. I'd rather not name names. But I'm just saying that would even be willing to wanna do it,
Yeah.
because it is a lot of work.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, time for the abstracts. Is there a motion to pay abstracts 1658 through 1711 totaling $66,432.38?
I make a motion?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I guess, anybody got anything else? Then I guess, can I get a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel?
I'd like to make that motion. Go with the person.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.